Check out the sunrise, folks.
You ready?
Yep.
Let me put my cigarette out. Hi, my name is Hobie. It's, you got a good sound check?
Yep.
Alright. Hi, my name is Hobie. It's 7:30 in the morning, November the 9th, 2004. And I'm sitting here on a jet ski in Daytona, Florida. I'd actually ridden this thing. I left Friday morning from Key West at about 8:45 in the morning, and 4 days later, this is where we are. And right now, the clouds and the rain are coming in on us, so we're wondering what the weather's going to do. I've actually been living and eating and sleeping on this ski for the last 4 days. This is actually my fourth ride. I started off doing these rides a little over 2 years ago. My first ride was to feed hungry children. I was to raise money to feed hungry children. And I did another ride, which was a cold ride, 35 degrees in the Atlantic. The first ride was in California. The third ride, again, was out on the West Coast, and this is my fourth ride. And there's some things that we really figured out from these rides. And the first thing I figured out was that it didn't make any difference how much money I raised. There was still an issue at hand. One issue was I could raise all the money in the world to feed hungry children, but I couldn't get the food to the kids. The reason I couldn't get the food to the kids is a lot of times it's armies, governments, all these issues that actually, are preventing us to get food to many of the starving children of the world. But after doing these rides, people would come up to me and they'd talk to me about the world and the shape the world was in. And everyone has talked to me about how bad the world is, and that's kind of what has prompted this ride. On my last ride, I spent 32 days, 31 nights, living and sleeping and eating on a jet ski off the coast of California in the Pacific. And on the 32nd day, I was given a message, and the message was, the only way that the world's ever going to get better is for us to love each other, care about each other, give to each other, help one another. And that's the things that we have to do. We have to go out there and help each other. I've got 4 daughters. I'm 46 years old, and and I got a granddaughter, and I really care about what's going to happen to my kids. I care about what's going to happen to your kids. I care about what's going to happen to everybody's kids. And if we don't do something now, then we're basically shucking the responsibility off on future generations. Somebody's going to have to make some personal sacrifices, which is what we're out here doing right now, making personal sacrifices in order to try to get our world turned around. Certain things that have to stop happening. People have to stop killing people. I mean, people are killing people for some of the silliest reasons, and that's one thing that needs to stop. But the main thing that we've got to do is we've got to help one another. We've got to all go out there every day with this attitude. I want to help the people around me. I want to help make their world better. I want to be nicer to them. I want to get more caring and more giving to them. Our website that says on the side of the ski here, our website is comejointheride.com. This isn't my ride. It's come join the ride. This is your ride. Whoever's seeing this, wherever they're seeing it, that's what this is about. This is about all of us coming together. Just to get from Key West to here, we've had so many people that have helped us. We've had restaurants that have said I could tie up next to them, just like at this marina that I'm at right now. They said I could tie up here for the night. So many people coming together to try to get us to New York. And by the way, that is where we're headed, to New York. We hope to be in New York in about another 10 days. And that's what it's going to take. This is what it's going to take for the world to get better. My very first ride that I did was a very, very sad story. I actually got on the jet ski, and the guy asked me, he says, I got on with a loaf of bread, a jar of peanut butter, a jar of jelly, and a gallon of water, and that's all I had. And a guy named Andy comes up to me, he says, how are you going to sleep on that thing? And I said, perhaps, I don't know, Andy, I've never slept on one before, and as far as I know, there's not an instruction book anywhere. But I said, I'm just going to put on some sweaters like what I have on right now. I'm going to lay my head here, and I'm going to put my legs over here. Well, about 2 hours later, he comes back out with a blanket and a pillow and 2 jumbo jacks from Jack in the Box. So now I wasn't eating the peanut butter and jelly sandwiches like I'd planned. I was eating Jumbo Jacks. And I didn't have to sleep on it just without any cover. He actually brought me cover, so he was helping me. Well, the first 2 days we didn't get any news, we didn't get any media, and finally I got a hold of my publicist, Karen. I said, Karen, what's the problem? And she said, well, the problem is there had been this little girl named Danielle Van Dam. It was a national story, but actually went all over the world. And this girl was 7 years old, and she'd been raped and killed, and her body had been dumped in the San Diego desert. And the jury was deliberating on whether this guy was innocent or guilty. They found the guy guilty on the third day. And so the media was looking for a story about children, and I was out there writing to raise money to feed hungry children, and out they came. And that's where we first got our media, and we got a lot of it from that. And the next day, though, after being on the news that night, people started bringing me flowers. They started asking me to take these flowers out into the ocean, which I did. But I would take these flowers all day out into the ocean. I would throw them in the ocean, and I was out there in the Pacific on this thing, and I was out there by myself. And I was sitting there watching these flowers drift away. And you know, I have 4 daughters, as I mentioned, and it like broke my heart, because I thought, well, what could happen to my kids? And these are the things that we're all worried about. These are the things that we're all concerned about. We all want to get that one phone call, you know, for something's happened to our child. Well, there are things happening to children all over the world. You know, here in America, there's things happening in our inner cities. Other nations, I mean, you know, the things are just happening. Kids are dying. They're dying for no reason. There's adults that are dying, and they're not dying for any reason. Well, the only way we're going to stop this, and that is for us to get out there and do something. I mean, the first thing you got to do is you got to go do something. The second thing you got to do is you got to help somebody. I'm not saying it doesn't necessarily be money. There's a lot of people listening to this that don't have any money, and that's okay. I mean, there's still other things you can do. This ride right here, this ride has been financed strictly by people. You know, I'm not a wealthy person. As a matter of fact, we don't even have enough fuel to make it all the way to New York. We have to hope and depend on some other people to come through. We have a person trying to find me a snowmobile suit today, so that when I get up into the cold weather, that I'll have adequate, clothing so that I don't get cold. So we have people all around that are trying to do these things. They're trying to help us. And really the main reason they're doing it, you know, if I was just riding a jet ski from Keywest to New York, people say, well, you know, I mean, the guy's trying to make a Guinness Book World Records or something like that. You know, no big deal. So, you know, and they really wouldn't really be behind us. We're doing it because why we're doing it. Once again, we're doing it to help people, to show people, you know, that that's what we're all going to have to do. Our world, if you really stop and think about it, and I hope when you watch this, you give a lot of thinking about it. If we all just have this attitude that we're just going to help one another, and everybody's going to help one another, then the world will get better. One of the biggest problems we have in the world is people say, well, I don't trust people. Well, that's because someone in your life really cared more about themselves than they did you, and so you stop trusting people. And, you know, so many people are good people and trusting people. There's so many people that I have found that, you know, even when I first meet them, you know, they seem like they're all angry and all this, and they find out a little bit about what we're doing, and it touches them, and they soften up, and they become nice people. So really, it's all more about how we're all being approached by everyone else. And so if we'll all start approaching everybody correctly, then, like I said, it's going to get better. And what's our alternative? You know, I mean, if we don't start working on making the world better, we're leaving it to our kids. They're going to have to make the personal sacrifices, and their personal sacrifices are going to be much, much bigger than ours was. You know, I'm very, very lucky, very blessed to be out here. This entire ride was, like I said, financed by personal donations. I don't have any major corporations financing or sponsoring me on this ride. I don't have, you know, just anybody. It's just people, just individuals coming together to make it happen. The guy that makes our T-shirts, which I've got a shot here of one of the sweatshirts that he makes. And on the back of it, it says our message. I don't know if y'all can see that out here, but on the back of it, it says, love your neighbor, love the children, keep the faith, spread the message. Come join theride.com. Not a ride about a jet ski, but a ride about life. And that's what this is all about. Love your neighbor, care about people, treat each other right, love the children. We all love the children. We gotta love the children. Keep the faith. So many people out there are losing faith. Don't lose faith. I mean, keep the faith. Keep the faith with us. We're here to support you. We're here to come together and spread the message. And if we're all out there spreading the message, you know, there's a friend of mine in Dallas, Kathy, who's out there. Everybody she's talking to every single day, she tells them about what we're doing, what we're out there doing. You know, my mother, she's just, you know, gotten behind this thing in such a big way. My dad, I mean, everyone. My mother's, you know, she helped make this ski happen. Without her, then I probably wouldn't be out here. She helped with some of the gas money to get it up, and that's because she believes that we need to do something to make the world better. Everyone involved with me, Jeff, who just happened to walk up, who actually started off making those t-shirts, he's following me up the East Coast. He's following me from Key West to New York. And he just started off by making t-shirts, but after making these t-shirts, he said, you know, gosh, I believe in this thing. He actually had asked the guy upstairs, you know, that to send him a sign that he was doing the right thing. And about 3 days later, I came along. And I kind of asked the same sign, you know, to make sure I was doing the right thing. You know, you don't do what I'm doing without first talking to the guy upstairs and make sure that you're doing the right thing. And I think that you know, we've been very lucky, very blessed, and shown that that this is the right thing. But what we need you to do is we need you to come join the ride. We need you to be part of this. We need you to go out tomorrow and today and spread this message and tell other people, hey, gosh darn, let's all start being nicer to each other. Let's all start being kinder to each other. Let's start caring about these children that are dying of cancer or of starvation, or they're in the bad area of town and they don't have, you know, the education and everything else that other kids have. Let's care about the kids that even have all those education. You know, I run across a lot of kids that they have everything they need, but they're still having problems. And the reason they're having problems is because they're living with the adults. They're living with the people that are out there mistreating people. They're not caring about people. And that has to stop. That has to stop. We got to do something to make it better. Brother, can you just cut?
There's the web address, folks. You're looking at it right there. ComeJoinTheRide.com. Mr. Hobie's taking a ride for all of you. You heard him say it. He's riding from Key West all the way to New York on this jet ski. Check it out, folks. He's sitting down here in the marina. It's about 7 o'clock in the morning, and I'm filming Mr. Hobie right here on his jet ski. You know me, I'm the Raven. Look at that, Key West to New York, right there. Here's a little shot of the ski. Hey Hobie, how you doing? This guy is one awesome dude. Now folks, just like he says, we all need to get together, we need to quit fighting, we need to be nice to our neighbors. That's a real good message to spread around the world. And I think Hobie here is doing something really nice to bring awareness to all this stuff. You know, he's getting out and doing something, which is what you guys can do also. My name's TheRaven, and we're going to bring you back to Hobie here in just a second.
All right, we're back live here. You know, Raven was just talking about, you know, like I said, our T-shirt says "Spread the message." Well, that's what Raven's doing here. He's helping us spread the message. And when you watch this thing today, you go out and spread the message. So that's what we're doing. We're spreading the message. That's what this ride's about. Spread this message. You know, keeping the faith. I went through a couple of months ago. I went through Hurricane Ivan here. A friend of mine had a jet ski operation, parasail boat operation in Destin, Florida. And we basically did no business in the month of August because of all the hurricanes that hit here. It hurt all of us financially. Well, I was leaving and going back to Dallas, you know, which is where my kids are, and my friend Jeff said, "Hey, take this pair of shorts with you." And I said, "Jeff, those are 36s. They'll never fit me." He said, no, they'll fit you, because when I was a 34, they were too small on me. So I threw them in my bag and off I went. So I got back to Dallas. Didn't have anywhere near the amount of money that I needed when I got there, but I tried on these shorts to see if they fit, and they did. So I reached in the pocket, and there was $160 in the pocket. So I called Jeff up and I said, Jeff, there's $160 in this pocket. He said, man, I haven't worn those shorts in 7-8 months. He says, I can't believe that. It's been there all that time. So that gives us $160. Well, then that goes on, and then the complex where my mother actually lives and owns a condo, they have a guest condo, and they said, well, they'd like me to stay in that as long as I was in Dallas. So I was given this guest condo to stay in Dallas. Well, I was thankful for that, and I talked with Jeff Conn, who makes our t-shirts, and Jeff really, he'd love to just go out and give everybody in the world a t-shirt if he could, because our t-shirt actually spreads our message. But I was going to take him down to the office there, and I wasn't feeling real well, and my mother said, well, just wait till you feel better. So I said, okay. Well, the next day I did feel better, so I go down there to take the office some t-shirts, and there's a gentleman sitting there and talking to the assistant manager, and I give her a t-shirt, and he says, I want a t-shirt. I said, well, let me tell you a little bit about these t-shirts, and I no sooner could get that out of my mouth, and the assistant manager, Andrea, she started telling the story. And so after she told the story, I said, here's a t-shirt, but you got to go out and spread the message. So I handed the guy a t-shirt. About 30-45 seconds later, he reaches in his pocket, he pulls out a wad of money, he hands me a $100 bill. Now, I was giving him a t-shirt, and he really felt that he wanted to be part of this and do something to make a difference, and he handed me $100. And at this point in time, we still didn't have a jet ski, or a wave runner, which is actually what I am on. I'm on a Yamaha wave runner. We didn't have a wave runner to actually go up the coast, and then my mother, of course, says, this is going to happen. This has to happen. I mean, that's the exact words. This has to happen. We'll make sure you get the wave runner. And of course, she did that. So now we have that. And it's just, like I said, it's everybody coming together, trying to do things, come up with ideas. I was on the phone last night with my dad, and he had an idea of things that we might be able to do. I've been told, I'm not very good at asking for money and everything else. I never have, as a matter of fact, but I've been told that I needed to say this, and for all the people that have spent their time and energy and money, Jeff, who's standing right over here, who's following me up the coast, and I don't know what I'd do without him. He finds me a place to tie into at night. He finds me the fuel docks. I couldn't even do this if he wasn't helping me get up the coast. There's no way I could do this. So, but the point I was getting at is keep the faith. I mean, that's the first thing. We got to keep the faith. I mean, Jeff and I don't know. We don't have enough money to get all the way up the coast. We're going to get as far as we can, and then we're going to wait, and we have the faith, so we know that something's going to happen where our needs will be met, and we'll get further up the coast, and we'll make it to New York. We're not sure how quick we're going to get there, but we're going to get there. So, go out and do the same thing. Keep the faith, spread the message, care about some people. Start off by just caring about the people that you're around. The kids whether it be your kids or family members or whoever it be, but people that you're around that you care about anyway, go out and do something for them. Start there, and then people that you're working with. If you're a boss out there and you're too grouchy on your people, be less. Be more caring about your people. They're just human beings, just like you. Outside the workplace, they're just people, just like your people. And you're going to do more to get people to do things for you by being nice and kind to them than you'll ever do by ordering them around. So these are things that we just need to stop. The governments of the world need to care about their people. I mean, they're human beings too, and the first thing they've got to do is stop looking at the people of their countries and saying that they're the government and these are just the people. They're just the people. They're what it's all about. There wouldn't even be a government if it wasn't for the people. So these are things that we all got to go out there and start doing. The main important thing to me is spread the message. If you would like to find out if there's some way you can help us, and you'd like to find out if there's any way you can call Jeff Conn at 417-830-9141. That's 417-830-9141. tell him that you'd like to help, and he'll see what he'll talk with you and get a hold of me, and then I'll call you and we'll see what we can do. You can also reach my publicist, Karen Abbott, KBC Media Relations, at 856-869-9403. Call Karen. I'd like to actually finish this ride in Key West. I want to go over to England. I want to ride across the English Channel. I'd like to ride down into down the river into Paris. And then I'd like to go over to the Middle East. I'd like to ride over in Israel.
Now that would be on another ride,
There'll
right?
be another ride, right?
Okay.
What I'd like to do is I'd like to finish this ride. And after I finish this ride, I'd like to go over in Europe. I'd like to do a short little ride over in Europe. Then I'd like to go to the Middle East and do the same thing, a short couple of rides maybe over in Europe and a couple of rides maybe in the Middle East. And spread this message. Help one another. The only way to a better world is for us to help one another. I'm going to say it again. The only way to a better world is for us to help one another. So I'd like to do about 4 or 5 rides around the world. And of course, the first ride that I started off wanting to do, I would like to finish, and that's California to Hawaii. It's 3,000 miles, open ocean. We'd like to do that ride next June if at all possible. That ride's kind of an expensive ride because I have to have a follow boat on that one. I have to have someone that's going to go across the ocean with me and give me fuel. That ride would take about 12, 14 days. It's open ocean the whole way. Some of the most unpredictable weather on the planet, the South Pacific. So we'd like to finish the ride by doing that. But in the meantime, we just want to ride around the world and spread this message of help one another. A lot of you people out there, I've never met you, and some of you I won't meet. I hope I do, but I wish I could meet you all. But I can tell you this: I love you guys, and I know I love you because I meet people everywhere, and I love all of them. And it becomes an easy thing to do once you start doing it, once you start caring, and it becomes so easy to helping one another is an act of love. If you go out and help somebody, you're actually performing an act of love for these people. So, it's not just a matter of helping them. I mean, the way that they look at it is, man, this person just helped me. This person cares about me. And that's what we're all wanting. We're all wanting people to care about us. And when that person cares about you, then you say, gosh, someone cares about me. And then it goes on. And then you can go care about somebody else. And then it just goes, it runs a complete circle. And that's what it's going to take, folks. Instead of saying, God, our world's such a terrible place, do something about it. You can start doing it just by you. You can make a difference in this world just by you personally going out and doing things for the people around you. That will make a difference in their lives. Now, if we'll all unite under the same umbrella, just unite under this one message of we all need to come together and help one another. Wherever you're watching this, whatever country you're in, whatever city you're in, get someone else to get on and look at this same thing. Have them get on Raven's website and see this story. Come join the ride, folks. That's what we're asking you to do. Come join the ride. Come be part of us. Come be part of what we're trying to do, which is to make your world better, to make our world better, and mainly to make the world better for the kids, the future generations. We love you all. We thank you for taking your time. Spread the message. Pass it on. Come join the ride. Thank you. I'm back here. The first thing that we did here is I was actually just trying to mainly spread the message that we're sending out there. But what I'd like to do is take this moment to thank people that have made this message happen and these personal sacrifices they've all made. I'd like to start off, of course, by thanking my mother, Sue, and my children, Jamie, Tiffany, Michelle, Brittany, and the sacrifices that they've personally made. This has been a personal sacrifice for all of them, for my mother, for my kids. I'd like to thank my dad for his support, Gene. I'd like to thank his wife, my stepmother, Nancy. Told me last night that they're on, she watches the website every single day to find out her progress. And then my dad comes home from work and she tells him about it and tells him where I've gone, what we've done, things of the day. I'd like to thank Jeff's wife, Annie. Man, if it wasn't for Annie, Raven wouldn't even be here doing this interview. Annie got on the internet herself. She was laughing last night. She says, I don't have a ton of internet experience, but she got on the internet, and out of all the, millions or billions of websites there are, She actually came in across Raven, emailed Raven. Raven got back a hold of us, called us, and that's why we're out here doing it. So I'd like to thank Annie. I'd like to thank, and the list just goes on and on. My buddy who actually took us over to Hawaii a few months ago, Jim Palmieri, and he Bailey took us over there. And when I was over there, I talked and met a preacher over there, Jim Walsh, who was a lot of help. I'd like to thank my buddy Butch, who's been supportive of this ride. You know, one person, two people actually that just came into mind. Craig Stutz and his wife Renee. Craig is an accountant friend of mine. He went out there and opened up a checking account. He got us established as a non-profit. And once again, you have to understand that when I started to just come join the ride, I didn't have anything. These are all people that actually came together. Jazz, the person doing our website, presently, but I'd like to talk about the guy that started doing the website in the very beginning, Ryan Peralta. Ryan only has arms 8 inches long. He has no hands. He only has legs down to your knees. And once again, he started doing our website, and he dedicated his time. He actually rode with me on the last ride. He got on his own jet ski. He rode 32 miles out there in the Pacific. If you look on our website, you'll see pictures of Ryan. And he rode out there. He couldn't ride a bicycle when he was a child, but he was able to ride a jet ski, and he went out there to ride with me. One of the most memorable moments of my life. Karen Ammon, my publicist, she's never received a dime. None of us have. She's never received any money for doing this. She's done this the goodness of her heart. She's sent the press releases out. She's sent videos out. She's sent packages out. She's just done everything. Jeff has actually pulled money out of his business to make this in particular ride happen. You know, he's paying his own expenses as he's going up the coast. You know, no one's financing him. He's financing him. He's paying for his own gas. He's paying for his own motel room. Between him and my mother, they pay for some of the gas. It's actually, you know, getting the ski going up. He's bringing me food. He's paying for I mean, I can't even tell you enough about what Jeff has done, and all these people. And you know, when I get through with this, there's so many people that I haven't thanked, that I'd love to thank. Kathy, Steve, once again over there in Hawaii. I've got a necklace in my thing here that the guy named Fish actually his mother gave me. I've got one of the most important things to me that I have, if I can find it, which I will be able to, I believe. Here it is. When I first started doing these rides, my kids made this for me, and it's been on every single one of my rides. And it's kind of torn up and beat up, and I don't know if y'all can see there, but that's me, my name, of course, Hobie. And my kids actually made that, and it's gone. This is the 4th ride, and this is gone from the first ride to the thing. And they made it on my birthday. Happy birthday, Daddy, you know. And that's what they made for me, and this has gone with me everywhere. There's a button in here Jeff's wife Annie gave me. Let's see if I can find that. This is a necklace that a person over in Hawaii gave me. Just wanted me to wear this for some luck. Let me find this button down in here. Hold with me, folks, because I know it's here because I had it earlier.
Hey, Hobie, I know there's one guy that we forgot to thank.
Yeah, well, I'm looking for the button.
No, we forgot to thank you for taking the ride, brother. So I'm thanking you for all of us.
Well,
since they're not here and they can't speak up and they're going to watch this on TV later, I'm thanking you for everybody out there in the world.
Well, I'll tell you though,
for taking the ride for us, Hobie.
With me, you guys are the blessing. I mean,
well, yeah, it kind of takes all of us to make it work, doesn't it?
You know, this right here, Jeff's wife gave this to me and asked me if I would take this with me, and I looked at it, read it. A man's mind plans his way, but the Lord directs his steps. And so I've been carrying that with me. Like I said, there's people who give me so much, and you know, people they pray for our safety, and to me that's what it's all about. You know, people say sometimes, they say, you know, you've actually, you know, you've touched me, and I've said, you know, to me, I'm receiving the biggest blessing of all. I'm actually out there doing something that we feel is making the world better, or at least it's having some kind of an impact. I'm trying to. But then I've got all you people that are coming up, and you all are doing it, and that's, you know, I'm just one guy. I mean, without you all, then this would already be done and gone and over. It's you all that are making the difference. So, you know, for all the people that I haven't thanked, and it just goes on, just on this ride, Jerry Gilding, San Diego House of Motorcycles, who gave me the very first wave runner that I ever rode on the very first ride. I bought the fuel on that ride. Andy, who gave me a place to tie up on the very first ride. Trump Casino Marina on the second ride. They sponsored that. They gave me a hotel, they gave me fuel money, they let me tie up at their marina. All this ride, starting in Key West, Troy and his crew unloading the ski and putting it in the water for us, and actually they rode out with me. Those guys, you know, started off the ride, got me out into the Atlantic. So all those guys down there. One of the biggest people I've missed here, Gary and his wife Vicky. Gary is a minister in a wheelchair, and Gary, you know, bought one of our first tanks of gas, bought our food, gave us $40 for the next tank of gas, and just, you know, Gary, thank you so much, you know, and I just, like I said, I can't keep thanking enough people. You know, to me, of course, you know, my mother and my kids, you know, they've just been so supportive. They made so many personal sacrifices for this, and I certainly appreciate all of it. I love them, and I love you kids, and I, of course, love your mother and Pop, and, you know, everyone else.
Hobie, do us a favor and look right into the lens and say your kids' names and wave at them one time, because they're going to see this on the internet, and I want them to see that their dad's having a good time and that loves them very much. Go ahead, give it a shot, Hobie.
Jamie, Michelle, Brittany, Tiffany, and of course my granddaughter Sadie. I love you guys.
All right, that's from your dad, kids.
Mother, I love you.
And that's from your son. Okay, thanks a lot, Hobie.
Thank you guys. Peace, everybody.